What is up, all of you loyal prostitutes out there? It's Friday. I'm your man, Frosty, which means this is Frosty's Bar Tales. And you saw that correctly. I clapped it. It didn't even hurt at all. That's right. It's doing much better. You know, from when I almost died. You should go watch that episode if you haven't seen it. Anywho, this week's story. It's an interesting one, and it is entitled The Spanish Headbanger. So, how does this story start off? Well, it starts off how every other story starts out. Me, standing at the front door, doing my job like only I know how. Because, let's be honest, when it comes to this job, because I'm the best. You heard him. Anywho, so, I'm standing at the front door, doing my shit, and, there's a Spanish dude. He's on the dance floor, and, man, he's having a real hard time keeping his balance. So much so that another customer comes up and just starts leaning against the same stand that I'm leaning against, and he looks at him and he goes, man, that guy, think he may have had a little too many. I'm like, yeah, that's what it looks like. He goes, so, you gonna kick him out? Nah. Yeah, he may have had a little too many tonight, but, he hadn't done anything stupid, so for right now, I'll just keep an eye on him. Appreciate you looking out, though. See? Because that's what I do. I look out, and I appreciate those who look out for me. Appreciate you. So, I'm standing, I'm watching, and there's these gentlemen, because we have a basketball hoop inside, and these gentlemen, they're just cute hoops, having a glorious time, enjoying themselves. And this dude just meanders his way over to them, and starts, like, dancing up on them. Getting up in their space. Being a nuisance. Being annoying. Being a pain in the ass. So, I see these gentlemen that are minding their own business. They seem to be trying to do things the way I like to do things. Which is, we try to be nice first. We try to use our words first. Before it gets to that point. Because, trust me, Frosty likes using his words first. Believe it or not, I always don't like going to asshole mode straight away. Nah, give everybody benefit of the doubt, give them one shot. But eventually, I see the look come across one of their faces. The one where it's just like, all right, we're done here. So as soon as I see that look on his face, that's when I'm like, well, I guess it's time for me to intervene on this one. So I said, it's showtime. So I go over to him, I get in between them, and I'm looking at the Spanish dude. I look back at them and I say, I got it. So I look at him and I'm like, dude, why don't you leave these gentlemen alone? Why don't you come on back over to the dance floor? Why don't you have yourself a good time and just leave the gentlemen alone? Let them do their thing. Now, this is when the Spanish headbanger decides to look me up and down. And then just embraces me. I mean, he's hugging me, he's jumping on me, and I'm much like these gentlemen. I just talked about this, about how I like to use my words first. Now, when I came to him originally and said, hey, maybe you should, that was me using my words. Now he's up on me. I didn't use words right away. Not this time. No, I actually, since there was a fence this far away from him, behind him, I mean, I just, boom! I just shoved him right off me. He hit that fence. Not that hard, but got the point. So I said, you might want to get up off me. And that's when he's like, I'm like, you know what? On second thought, I think it's time we call it a night. So I start walking him to the front door. Everything's going good. And he's just babbling on and on and on about God knows what. Because listen, folks, I'm not too fluent and stupid, so I don't know what this man said. And even if I was fluent in it, I wouldn't have cared enough to listen because I just want him gone. So we get to the front door. Everything is going swimmingly. The ideal kick out. I mean, He's not arguing. He's not fighting. I mean, it's simple. I'm at the door, tell him, have a good night, have a good night, have a good night. We're shaking it out. We're fist bumping it out. We're even hugging it out. Ass out to make it awkward. Because I don't want it to be awkward. So, he gets outside and I close the door. And that's when it gets interesting because that's when it clicks in his brain. And he goes, "What, are you serious, bro?" Yeah. And that's when he throws this up. I'm like, oh, here it comes. And he tries coming back in through the front door. He tries opening it. I close it. He puts a little more into opening it. I put in a little more to close it. Now he's giving it everything he's got trying to open it. And I'm doing everything I can to keep it closed. Now we're having a tug of war with our front door. We have an audience now. I shouldn't say we have an audience at this point. We have a growing audience at this stage. So I tell him, you might want to stop. So he does. He listens to me. He comprehends what I say. He tries to stop opening the door. But then he just decides to start punching it. And, I mean, I'm talking. He's putting everything he's got into this and just, doosh. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Now, we have an audience. It's not growing, it's grown. Probably everybody in the bar is watching us at this point. We were pretty busy. So, I tell him one more time, I have to handle this. I said, you might want to stop or else. Now, or else, that phrase, that seems to be universal in any language. Whether it's English, Spanish, stupid, drunkenese, whatever. Or else seems to be pretty much well known because he understood it. He didn't like hearing it because it made him angry. And, I guess punching the door got either tiresome or painful because he didn't punch the door anymore. He decided to headbutt it. He decided to headbutt our double-paned glass window on our front door. And I'm not just talking like the, let me in, come on, nothing like that. Oh no, this is something you'd see out of Supernatural or something like that. Like this dude's possessed and trying to off himself, putting everything into it. And I'm like, well, one of two things is going to happen here. A, he is going to bloody himself up slightly, knock himself stupid and hurt himself, and not damage our door. Or he will somehow crack or break the door, which will severely fuck him up. And so I can't have either of those things happening because at the end of the day, I got to look out for him. And I would love nothing more to go outside and handle this my way. But like I said, we have an audience, we got cameras, that ain't happening. So I had to call the 5-0. So by the time the cop shows up, Senor Dipshit's already gone off somewhere. And, the cop's talking to me. He's like, you guys pressing charges? I said, no. He didn't damage anything of ours. He didn't break anything of ours. He didn't. I mean, he punched and headbutted the window, but as you can see, there's nothing on it but his disgustingness. I said, but no, I don't want to press charges on him. If y'all find him, and I gave him a description to a T, I said, if you guys find him, just make sure he gets home safely in one piece or take him to the hospital because clearly he's not too stable. So, you see, and then I went back inside. Story's over. I didn't see him for the rest of the night. Or should I say that's where my story, my part of this tale comes to a close. But, P.S., the next day, this dude actually comes back. Because I found out, because I was telling Lady Chong, one of the people that saved my life when this happened, I was telling her about it. And she goes, oh, yeah, I already know all about it. And I'm like, because I told her, I'm like, did you hear about our Spanish headbanger from last night? She goes, oh yeah, I know all about it. So, oh, why? Did somebody else already stooge the story off to you? She goes, no, he came back. I'm like, did he? He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah, he came back, wanted to know if we were pressing charges, and just wanted to apologize and pretty much own it. Which, side note, I respect that move. I respect it to no end. I've done it. I will do it again next time I screw up. Not if, but when. It will happen. I'll own up to it then. Everybody should own up to it. Don't be a coward and just run away and hide from shit. Yeah, I said it. Don't be a coward. Don't do it. Frosty won't respect cowards. He doesn't. He just don't do that. Don't play that game. You got it. You gotta have respect. You gotta own up to your shit. Like this guy did. The Spanish Headbanger. So, I mean, I don't respect him because he's stupid. I just respect what he did. So, everybody, that's it for this week's story. Unfortunately, I have something going on in my personal life on Wednesday that will pretty much leave me incapacitated and not really in a talking type of mood for a couple of days. So there will not be a Frosty Bar Tale next week. Really sorry about that. So this is going to be the last bar story I have for the year. And I will be more than happy to see you all next year, 2022. Frosty's going to be a whole new man. You'll see it in the next episode. So in the next bar story, you'll see a difference in me. Yes, you will. Because you'll just see. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be amazing. But anyway, that's it for this week. Everybody, if you haven't joined the Bomb Squad yet, you should totally do so by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts about this story. Let me know if anybody's ever danced up on you in an uncomfortable way, or if somebody if you ever witnessed somebody punching a fucking door or headbutting a door. Tell me all about it. I want to hear about it in the comment section. So everybody, until next time, I'm your man Frosty, and you know to always and forever stay classy.